Hello everyone, I need you all to be really quiet because just round this corner I'm about to go and surprise a subscriber. Let's go and see who it is. She's got no idea who it is that's coming.
I told her you got a new car. She's very impressed.
Excellent. Hello Annie. Welcome to another episode of Wild Your Garden.
It's Mr. Butterfly.
Mr. Butterfly, there you go. Lovely to meet you.
I was just reading your book.
You weren't, come off it.
I got it for my birthday yesterday.
Oh, wonderful.
Oh, David.
Shall we come in?
Yes,
Please do.
Marvellous, thank
Take
you.
your shoes off.
Well, after the initial shock of me turning up on Annie's doorstep unannounced, which was entirely organised by David as a bit of a birthday surprise, we're now going to take a look around the garden, and I can't wait because here we are in the middle of the fens and it is a really wonderful and interesting landscape. So much wildlife, you wouldn't think it for such a flat place, which can look desolate in the depths of winter, but believe me, there's a lot of life here. And we're now going to explore this wonderful, very old 2-acre garden behind this gorgeous house built in 1894, I believe. So a wonderful example of some of our older architecture found here in the UK. And we're going to explore the 2 acres which borders a river just on the other side of the house. So I can't wait. There's woodland, there's a pond, there's all sorts. So let's go take a look. Okay, so here we are. We've got the driveway just to our left, the house behind us, and we're now going to enter this beautiful little woodland glade, and Annie's going to take us on a bit of a tour. She's feeling a little camera shy, aren't you, Annie?
Yes, girl.
So we've got a nice Toniaster here. What can I detect growing in the Toniaster and amongst it?
Wild cherry.
It is.
Is it a bullate?
Could be bullace, yeah.
Bullets.
That's wonderful. Nice to see. That's not quite flowering yet, or has it just gone over? I can't quite tell. No, it's not quite flowered, is it? I've blute it. There's quite. It sounds like there's a family around. Have you had some?
Yep.
Had some hatch. Fantastic. And the willow. I love willows. There's a willow tree just like that over the river in France, and my place over there, and it's just, it's gorgeous. You can't beat a weeping willow, can you? So we've got a mini herbery down here. Some of your finest, Annie. Just name me this one again, because you did tell me a minute ago.
Ditanda.
Ditanda. Wow, that's very interesting. Used for cooking?
And mint.
Mints, yes.
And
Is that pineapple sage by the looks of it? Is it pineapple sage? I can never remember the name of that one. That one stumped me. Jerusalem sage, that's it. It stumped me when I did the tour in Scotland as well. The garden there.
This is a...
Oh, mullein, great mullein. Yes, fantastic. Excellent. They pop up everywhere, don't they?
They're caterpillars.
Oh, mullein moth, yeah. I saw them the other day actually.
Picking them up the chocolate.
And the elder is in flower, and actually some of it's going to berry now, isn't it? Elder, another really good one for wildlife. And the bamboo, I'm guessing, is a nod to your 19 years you spent in Japan.
Yes.
It was 19, wasn't it?
Yeah, but it's a do-it-yourself thing. It takes care of itself.
Sure. Yes, quite.
And we've got some new... I think they're called culms. Horrible word. C-U-L-M. 3 different
Culms. Yeah.
culms.
Yeah.
And then when you've cut them, they're canes.
Sure.
And
Gotcha.
there's another word for... I was telling... This new growth, I call them pokey uppies.
Pokey uppies. I like that. Excellent.
They come up brown.
Yep.
And that comes off.
Oh right, yeah, you would think from a distance that's dead, wouldn't you? But actually that's all fresh growth.
Can you see in there? This is the yellow one.
Oh right.
If you look down the bottom, all that brown
Yes.
come off.
Yep, gotcha. Right, so now I've stuck a mic on Annie. She's agreed to that. No video footage, but a mic. Okay.
There's the brown envelope in the pocket. I'd love lamiums.
Lamiums, yes.
And the white ones, the bees in the chimney like them.
Lamiums,
first.
which is, of course, the dead nettle,
Yeah.
which doesn't actually sting you, does it?
No.
As you can see, outside
this
be yelping.
as well.
Oh, the archangel.
Yeah.
Is that no? It's a variegated red dead nettle.
But there
isn't
is archangel. The plan was to cover this with archangel.
it? Excellent. Yeah, very good for bees, aren't they?
But this archangel has come from all the way. I started there.
Wow.
And it's coming. So what I've got to do now is just weed the Robert
Sure.
and other things.
Yeah, Herb Robert doesn't struggle in damp, shady settings, does it?
I love it. It's so easy to weed.
Yeah, yeah.
It's a real treat. You just.
That's right.
But you can see it's all. That's the plan. The archangel will all be here.
Yes, ground cover.
Yeah.
And there you go, on cue. There's a bee. Oh, it's gone now. And of course, we've come out here, I should say, after we've just had an enormous thunder and lightning burst, which was interesting. So you've got some Leylandii at the back,
Yeah, this is the boundary.
which is the boundary. Yeah.
Yeah. And this, which I discovered, is a honeysuckle.
It is. Yes.
It's a what do you call it? Shrub.
But it is. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. No, it's a lovely
Mm.
kind of shrubby version of the honeysuckle, of which is a good example there. Which is
This is Debbie. Debbie invented this because we found this metal thing, and she said, "Let's put some bamboo canes and some." So we've done, but
excellent.
it's not heavy.
Blowing a gale at the minute. Hopefully the mics will counterbalance that.
And then
Aha.
this again is the boundary. And when we first moved in, there was just rubble here,
Yeah.
tons of rubble, because this building was the farm workers' office. So the farm workers would come
I see.
without going into the house.
Gotcha.
From there,
Yeah.
So Alden, the tree surgeon, suggested a dead hedge because that was his space.
It's brilliant. I do love a good dead hedge. Great way to recycle all your cuttings on site, isn't it?
And this one as well, maybe is a
Yeah, it's a prunus of some sort, isn't it?
yeah.
For sure.
It has yellow. It's sort of cross between a plum and a.
Okay, interesting. Very nice.
There was a forsythia here,
Of site
but
here.
it struggled. But I've got a new one here.
Oh yes, a new shoot. Very good.
I love it when things appear. I
Yes.
think that the Norfolk word, I think, is findings.
Yeah. Findings, yes. We've got a lovely old sycamore there.
I think Alden said he needs to raise the crown, is it?
Yes.
Because it's getting a bit- We have discussed it. There were slabs on there.
Okay, yeah.
It was awful. So we got a lovely builder, and he came and did that
Yeah.
in March, I think. And
Yeah.
I looked at one day, and it's like a complete grass. All the seeds.
Really?
It's a million little trees to go big.
Crikey.
And here I was weeding, and this has got lamiums in and other things,
Yeah.
and there's a wall there. Weeding away, and female pheasant flew at me. She was
Oh,
on
really?
a nest up against the wall.
Oh, crikey.
So the weeding had to stop.
Of course, yeah, yeah.
I'm not really
So
happy.
female pheasant nesting just
Up
in here,
against
just
the
against
wall.
the wall. Fantastic.
I'm not really happy with this rose. They were, coming over, but I don't know whether to take it out or not. What is it?
Well, I'm not amazing with my roses. It looks like you've got a bit of rugosa,
Yeah.
which is the sweet briar, that lovely pink flower. Smells divine, doesn't it?
This is like baby buds.
Oh, lovely.
It's really old-fashioned.
It's beautiful, isn't it? Does it have a scent?
Not much, but you know the old-fashioned rose thing. Yeah.
It's fantastic.
And these poppies have all arrived this year. But I was saying that I planted 4 bergamots in there.
Yes.
And what I want to do is then the bergamots will get bigger and bigger and be fine, and then fill it in. I adore yarrow. And
Yes.
I've got lots of yarrow, so there'll be yarrow.
Oh, wonderful.
Because as you can see, the wind, I can't put anything.
Yes, you don't have a shortage of wind here, do you?
So it's got to be things that can handle the wind or won't be there when the wind is,
Sure.
So that's my plan for this one. But these poppies will just come this year.
Wonderful.
But what I'll do is take the seed from them and then,
Yes.
because you can't move them, these ones.
Of course, yeah.
I love things that you can move. I adore agastae.
Oh, the agastache.
Yes.
Yes, yeah.
That's
wonderful, isn't
can
it?
move it anywhere.
Hyssop,
Trees,
isn't
love
it? Yeah,
Yep.
hyssop.
It's one of my favourites.
I think as we get down here, it will be a bit better for the wind. I'm loving the amount of daisies in your lawn.
David doesn't mow them.
Very good. It gives you a better idea of the daisies. Lovely bit of nectar lawn.
Sorry, I'm going behind you, but
It's
this
all right.
hawthorn,
I think we can accept a view of the house.
just grew. And so
Really?
the builder's a bit worried, but he reckons it's probably keeping the wall anyway.
Yes.
But it's got the most beautiful, the ones that have a pink tinge to it.
Oh, the pink variety. Oh, lovely. So a pink variety of the hawthorn. That one there, which is really nice if you've ever seen it. Lovely blossom, that is. Also known as the May blossom, of course.
Yeah. But I love it when it comes out. It's one of the last things to come blossom.
Yes. It really is a stunning house, isn't it? Lovely brick.
That's a Japanese rain chain.
Oh, the chain. Oh, there, fantastic. Working well at the moment after the rain.
The posh ones in Japan are copper.
Oh, right.
Arm and a leg job.
Yes, arm and a leg, quite.
I'm thinking.
Nice to see you've got a bed of nettles. That's probably why we saw that Red Admiral a minute ago.
Well, I'm thinking of getting in touch with the people in Cornwall that make Cornish Yarg cheese.
Okay, yeah.
Because they wrap their cheese in nettle, don't they?
They do.
I think I've got the Norfolk collection.
Yeah, I think so. Well, the Red Admirals don't mind, nor the peacocks or the small
No,
tortoiseshells, of course.
Saying that I came across tons and tons of black caterpillars one day. I thought, oh, that's them.
Yeah, that'll be the peacock. Yeah, fantastic.
And this is my experimental herb bed. Because,
Experimental herbs, I like that.
well, David mows, the ride-on.
Yes.
And I just thought, this part of the garden gets the most sun. It comes up here and we live there.
Sure.
So what a waste. And also it'll cut down on things for him to mow. So I went to Norfolk Herbs and chose especially marjoram, oregano, all those ones.
Yeah.
And that was 2 years ago. And
Yes.
I'm now learning what I should be doing, because I'll show you the marjoram and the oregano. Yeah. If you want ground.
Yes, yeah.
so
Marjoram and oregano.
So I've now bought
Fantastic.
more woody ones. I bought a few thymes
Yeah.
and some unusual things that I
Sure.
think would be better. Yeah. And bergamot, which I love. The
Yes.
butterflies love too. And
Yeah.
my favourite lamiums. But so it's a bit weedy at the moment.
I'll
But
let you lead the way.
Debbie and
Well,
I.
it's nice though, because you've got things like your forget-me-nots popping up in the middle, which of course will just naturalise.
And there's some I planted, but it's in the borage.
Yes, yeah. And the lamiums working for the bees. That was a common carder if you caught sight of that. That looks like white campion. Oh no, it is borage.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can tell by the furriness of the leaf.
Oh, there's a borage flower. Oh, lovely.
Oh yes.
I love it. It's very messy, isn't it? It's very leggy, and you have to not.
So yes, that's the borage flower there.
And these,
Nice.
you'll see more down there. But these small trees that have arrived, you can tell me. I think it might be a goat willow.
That is indeed a goat willow.
Is
Yeah.
it? So I let them be, and I might be going to move them to a boundary because I've got spaces that I want to fill up.
Sure. Yeah.
So I think they might be better there.
Absolutely. Yeah.
But there's those, and I'll show you that.
Yes. Do show me.
This is a work in progress. This is pond liner that we used,
Excellent.
and we used chip that Alden had, but it's running down. So we're considering whether to do brick. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, there's bergamot in there.
Oh, lovely. And there goes a hare. Look. Excellent.
And this
True wildlife garden.
I don't know if it's the vervain or valerian.
Oh, that's common valerian. Yes, lovely. All the white flower here.
Amazing, goes everywhere.
Can I put a toe in there just to go and film some? I'll try not to tread on the violets. Where are we? Yes, this beauty is common valerian, which I do plant around a lot of the wildlife ponds, which I do silver lovely plant. Things like the ringlet butterfly love it.
I think of
Silver birch behind that. Oh yes, that's a goat willow, which looks like it's been
well and truly
eaten by something, that's for sure.
I saw one on it the other day. Don't they arch when you touch them?
Yes, usually, yeah.
It was that then.
So yeah, lots of common valerian, which is really nice to see. A good nectar source for many a thing.
Yes, I want to leave this.
Yeah, you've got the birch and another goat willow.
Another goat willow, yeah. This arrived. So
Yes, okay. Bit of feverfew.
yes, I love that. It's.
Apparently not that good for insects. Apparently deters some insects, I've
I
read.
wouldn't. Well, I can't see what they would get. Yeah. Is that another lamium? This silver.
It looks
one?
like it, yes, yeah.
Yeah.
A couple of lamiums. Hyperic. I know this is Rose of Sharon, you see, from my landscaping days, but I'm still doing landscaping. But of course it's Hypericum to those that prefer a Latin name.
Marjoram or oregano, I don't know.
Marjoram, oregano, whichever you prefer. If I zoom out, you can see. Lovely though. I can't
Lovely,
resist.
and you have to be quite.
Oh yeah, beautiful.
But you do have to get on it when it's
Keep on
new.
top of it, yeah.
Otherwise you get. I think this is mace.
Okay.
Not sure.
That's a nice one. Mace.
I can't remember what this is, but beautiful.
That looks like goat's rue to me.
Yeah.
It is. There you go.
This little flower.
Oh right, the
It's
flowers are coming out
yeah.
just down here, yeah.
But it's a spreader, isn't it?
That's the goat's rue. Yes, does grow very well. Particularly
So
in damper ground.
Just planted one and it's gone all over.
Yes, one has led to many. Excellent.
Go that way.
This way, back this way, yeah. Nice to see a spear thistle on its own there.
Yeah, I love those, but
Fantastic.
once the bees love them, don't they?
Yes, they do, yeah.
Take it off once those brown.
Yeah.
This one is, I think it's lovage.
Yeah. I'm
And then
saying yes, I'm not 100% sure, but I'll take
I seem to remember because we
I recognise it, I
drink
just
back
can't
in the
think.
day was rum and lovage.
Rum and lovage. Sounds good.
Old-fashioned drink. Could be.
Swallowtails use.
No, it's not fennel because the fennel's a very fine leaf. That's your fennel.
Yes.
So that's fennel. That's
I
very
think
similar. In fact, the flower of which looks very similar to almost a sort of a yellowy hogweed, really, isn't
Yeah.
it? In terms of umbelliferous.
And I made the hugest mistake in here because I had some low-growing things that were beautiful, and I grew these daisies from seed,
Okay, yeah.
stupidly not looking at packet to see how tall they grow. Now always look at the packet. So I had 5.
Yeah.
So I put them in there, and then you know what happens.
Of course, oxeye daisies do very well. Yes.
Everywhere. So we're in the process of clearing them, and this is where I'm going to put in woody thymes and
Oh, lovely.
tough
Yes.
things.
Yeah.
So yeah, but also again, archangel. I love
Yes,
it.
the yellow archangel. Yeah.
Oh look,
Coat willow doing that. Oh yes. Being stripped as we speak. You can see them on that. Look.
oh the babies. Yeah. What should I do with them?
Let them be. They won't. You'll. If you wanted to kill a goat willow, you wouldn't, Annie. So
Yeah.
there you go. Thank you very much.
And
Oh, look at this. Sorry, that's almost fit for bursting, isn't it? Now I love thistles, and this is another fine specimen of a spear thistle, which I've left one go in my front garden, and it's ginormous now. It's almost the size of my entire wildflower meadow, which is about 3 square metres, and lacewing just fine around there. But again, I mean, they're so good for insects when they flower, the thistles, and then in the autumn time. Obviously the birds, the goldfinches will love the seeds, won't they? Goldfinches, chaffinches, bullfinches even.
lovely. We've had all those, but not. I don't think ever a bullfinch.
Never a
No,
bullfinch,
no.
yeah. They're an odd one to find. They prefer mature hedgerows as somewhere to nest. What a lovely block of trees you've got there. My goodness, that really is a dogwood tree, isn't it? I've
Yeah.
just realised that. To the top of there is dogwood,
You'll see
which
it.
you'd normally associate with a shrub, but that's definitely a dogwood a tree. We're going to have a look at that in a minute.
There's a rue,
Oh, another type of rue, yeah?
Jackman's blue. Is it?
Look at the insects on that. These flies, look. You can see. Absolutely loving this at the minute. Flies obviously a very good pollinator as well. One that most people would associate with swatting inside your kitchen, but actually flies are just as important as bees and moths and hoverflies. The colour of that, it's like emerald green, isn't it? Metallic. Fascinating insects. Flies are one of those species that I think to myself, when I'm retired, I'm going to research and actually identify more than one of them.
I don't know about this. Is this Rosa glauca?
I'm not sure. It's
'Cause
definitely a
there
rose.
was
for sure.
one in the garden when we moved in, but it disappeared. But the pink was beautiful. Or if it
A
is it
lovely
just
coloured leaf.
It's-
It could be a side shoot of this one, which is a dog rose by the looks of
Yeah.
it.
I love dog roses as well.
So do I. Yeah, dog rose is brilliant.
But dog roses is just childhood for me.
Yes. I think this is something I like to see, silverweed. I don't know if you're familiar with that. Which, absolutely rubbish name. But you can see the leaf is,
It is
a really
silver,
silvery
yeah.
green colour. That's not the flower of it, that's a
No.
buttercup, but it does have a nice yellow flower that when it does flower. So yes, your 5 oxeye daisies has turned into a mini meadow.
I know they're going. But what I thought was, all the way along here, my nettles.
Yeah.
I think actually Debbie and I a couple of years ago carpeted it with plans to,
Yes.
tame it. But
Yeah.
what we're going to do this year is, I think, take them out, and still not quite sure. Maybe put the oxeyes in there, but
Sure.
we'll see.
Well, the oxeyes at least they'll get the morning sun then, won't they? Because that's pretty much due south, I'm guessing then, is it? There-ish.
Yeah,
Somewhere that way.
that's
Yeah.
west,
So we're afternoon over there. So
This thing, I think the tree up there is a Portuguese laurel.
oh yes,
Yeah.
yeah, that one
Yeah.
over there is a Portuguese laurel. Yeah.
Well, there was one here,
Okay.
but and there was this. What's the rose called?
There's a dragonfly actually. Sorry, just seen a dragonfly going up round the sycamore tree. As is always the way with dragonflies, you see them for about 3 seconds and then they're off. Sorry, yes, you were saying.
This is this rose was growing through the tree,
Oh wow!
and the tree fell down. So
Right.
we had a pergola made.
How wonderful!
And Alden put the rose through there. It's a Kifsgate.
Oh lovely! Oh
And
right, can we go and have a look?
Yeah, June the 20-somethings. That will be just a mass.
Really?
Yeah.
So we're a week too early. It's not looking bad right now, I must admit. But I can imagine that when it's all in bloom. I mean, look
Yeah.
at the amount of buds on that.
Yeah, I know.
I never remember how to say it. Is it Kifsgate or Kipsgate?
Kif, F, I think,
Kifsgate,
yeah.
that's it, yeah.
Except I have to come and these things will grow right out here. So
Yes,
when
they're
David's
like the
mowing,
water shoots.
they catch his ear. It's a vicious thing.
Look at that.
They smell absolutely delicious.
Yeah. Oh, don't they just?
Yeah.
Yeah. Roses always remind me of my grand's house because she loved roses and she didn't grow them in the house, obviously, but the garden she did. So you've built, and there's some wildlife action. Live, just had a bee there of some sort. I'm not sure, I didn't quite see it long enough. So this is, wow, this is incredible.
That's the tree stump.
Oh, so that's the tree stump
And
of the Portuguese laurel that was here.
Yeah. And that's
And then
the
this
rose
is what's come,
through it.
what has grown from it. So this is the structure that Annie had built to support the rose, which is quite wonderful.
And Alden, the tree surgeon, you know, put them all through. But
Fantastic.
actually, this is the second one, because in my ignorance, I didn't have Alden come to do it, and it got too heavy, and it crashed down.
Oh, right.
You can see that's where the other pergola was.
Oh, I see. Yeah, so the 4 posts of the old pergola, when it sort of
Yeah.
got a bit past its best.
Except that the guy who made it was really good, but I should have been here, because when he did it, the idea is that you sit and look at the pond.
Oh, and look at the pond over there.
Now, if you look at where these are,
Yes.
the sight lines are completely different.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So
So, yeah.
I should have been here to say, oh, look up there, just over
Yeah,
there.
right a bit.
And when I said to him, he'd done the cement.
Yeah.
When I said, oh, and he said, oh, I like things square. I thought, well,
Yeah.
okay.
Well, as long as you like it. Excellent.
But we still sit under it, so I think
That's lovely, isn't it? A
shady.
lovely feel under
But
this.
you can see the difference. So
Yes.
we were drama trained. The sight lines are quite important.
Yes. Excellent.
Lots of elder.
Elder, yes.
Yeah.
Elder, obviously a good
Yeah.
one, as we've already said. Berries in the autumn, flowers in the spring, as with a lot of our natives. More nettles, which is great. We've got a walnut tree there,
Yeah.
which is developing a few walnuts, by the looks of it.
The squirrels love them.
Yes.
They've got white tummies, and you can tell when they've been on the walnuts because they've suddenly got a brown tummy.
Brown to me, yeah.
There's 1, 2, 3 walnuts.
Oh wow, yes. So another walnut there. And we've got another sycamore there. Lovely mix of trees. So, and I should have said at the beginning, Annie, this is a garden you've been working on now for 24 years, is it?
Well, I've been noodling.
Noodling. I like that.
Noodling in
That's
the
a very
garden.
nice word.
Because the bones of, well, not the bones, the whole skeleton of the garden was there when we moved in.
Sure.
It would be called, you know, mature.
Yes.
Garden,
So it was
so
already
All the
mature.
trees were here, so it was
Yeah.
down to me. So what do I do noodling in between them?
Yes. You've been messing around with it for 24 years.
Yes.
Well, I like what you've done with the place.
And I discovered this man on YouTube.
Who was that?
It was this bloke, and he absolutely knew what he was talking about, and he was talking about wildlife gardens. And I mean, this is a big house and a big garden, so maybe it should be like an estate, you know,
Sure.
manicured. But I've never fancied. Well, I don't think it would suit it. It doesn't feel like that. but I wasn't quite sure how it should be until I
Of
saw
course.
this bloke. So it was
It wasn't
called,
Ginger, was he?
it was, and that didn't put me off.
Oh, well, it does most people, but so thank
Well,
you.
then they're stupid, aren't they? So yes, so I'm noodling, but now I'm noodling with a purpose.
Noodling with a different vision.
Yes.
Excellent. I like that. I'm going to coin that phrase.
I'm
And any traditional gardeners watching this, I'm going to tell them that they should be noodling with a different vision.
and I'm going
Thanks
to
to
be
Annie.
now at this great old age. I'm now going to be Joel's deshi,
Really?
and deshi in Japanese it means disciple, but it doesn't mean a religious. It means somebody who is a sensei, which is
Yes.
what you are. Sensei means one who has been before, which basically means
See.
somebody who knows what they're doing. So we have a sensei here and we have a deshi.
Well, that's very kind. Thank you.
So
I would say my sensei then in that case is Professor Chris Baines.
There you go. And you're his deshi.
Well, excellent. So I'm passing the line on to you, Anne. So when I'm gone, I expect you to be carrying on my work.
I'm actually pleased that at this age I get to be a deshi, because usually they're very young. Okay, where are we? More elder
More elder, yeah.
and horse chestnuts in the back.
Yes. Horse
And-
chestnut there. Another big one at the back.
Vinca minor.
Or the vinca, yes.
it's
That's the
brilliant.
periwinkle.
But I
It's almost like a campanula flower, isn't it? The
Yeah.
pale sort of lilac-y.
like both of them, the little one. And
Yes,
Yeah.
vinca major
Yeah.
and the vinca minor.
But the horse
Look down
chestnuts, I'm pleased because I think it was, who's the lovely lady who does the diseases on Gardeners? Question time.
Pass. I can't think at the minute.
She knows all the plant diseases and illnesses and things. Her name will come to me.
Sure.
I heard her talking about, the moth.
Oh yes, yeah, the leaf
Horse
mine and moth,
chestnut
yeah.
But she said if you rake up all the leaves in the autumn and burn them from around the tree, then that'll be, because it overwinters in the.
Right,
and
gotcha,
then
yes.
It climbs
Yeah.
up the tree, and
Yeah.
so the past 2 years I've done that, and luckily it seems to have worked.
Not got any leaf mining beetles or anything in there, really. Excellent.
But in Ely there are some beautiful, on the drive into Ely, some beautiful old chestnuts, and every year they just look brown.
Yes.
In early July.
That's
you know.
right, July time, yeah, they go brown, don't they, with the leaves. So yeah, so you're not far from Ely, are you? So you're in Fenland Peat where we are.
Yes. He doesn't come around much these days though, Fenland Pete. And is this hazel?
It is a hazel,
I
it's a
love
magnificent
hazel.
specimen. Look at that.
There's quite a few in the garden. I think they must like it,
Yeah, well, semi-shade, they thrive. Really do. The size of those leaves looks like you've been feeding it not pure nitrogen.
Mm.
And I can't help but notice two things in this area, Annie. One is that beautiful weeping birch, which again reminds me of my grand's garden, which I used to go around with my cousins. I had 4 cousins, and that we saw regularly, and we all used to play in their garden, hide and seek. It was only a tenth of the size of this, but there was a weeping birch, and I could always guarantee where every other member of my family was going to hide, and that would be under the weeping birch. But all I had to do was get on my hands and knees and look underneath, because the birch didn't quite touch the floor, just like that one there, and I could see 5 or 6 pairs of feet stood under the tree. So that was easy, that one. I always won that game really quick. So that's a wonderful treat, and then again another nod to your Japanese days with that lovely specimen of bamboo. It's quite a dark stem on that, isn't it?
It's black
yeah,
bamboo.
it is, yeah.
And I planted 4 canes in a couple of years
Wow.
ago, and now it obviously
Yeah.
really likes it. Yeah.
And while we're here, Annie, let's take a moment for this beautiful pond, because it really is beautiful. So this is something you put in, is it?
Yeah, it was a young student. He was a uni student, and he came and helped me. We had a friend dig it out,
Yep.
and then we did it together. And then a couple of years later, it was rubbish, so we did it again.
Yep.
Because it's just light. Well, actually, it's underlay.
Yep.
It's in Mexican, isn't it? Underlay.
Do you know how many times in my life I've refrained from making that joke?
Sorry, I can't help it. Underlay, and then when we had the roof done, I said to the roofers, "Can I have the slate?" So there's underlay, liner, slate liner, so this
Oh,
slate,
right, wow.
so things can live in it.
Fantastic.
Just in this sort of
Yes,
corner.
yeah.
And Callum and I, the young guy, he's now a doctor, PhD, sports. Really, yeah.
Very good.
He was the muscle, you know.
Yeah.
And we needed some advice, and so David called somebody, and they do lakes and things, you know, huge
Oh, wow,
things.
yeah.
But the guy came, he actually came. He said, it's only a small pond. But the guy came, and he said, oh, you need a French drain in there.
Yeah.
I said, what's that? And so he told us. So Callum and I set to and made a French drain. So the pipe comes out outside.
Sure.
So if the thing
Groundwater
wails,
gets too high, it doesn't.
So we did it, and he actually came back to see how we'd done, and he looked at it and he said, seems a bit over-engineered to me.
Results.
Yes. But I do need to, well, you know, I need to take some of this out, don't I?
Yes, so that's the commonry, the Phragmites, which will keep spreading. So obviously it's associated with the Norfolk Broads, very good for many species. I don't suspect you'll get too many bearded tits nesting in there in this year or next, but one can hope. But yeah, definitely within a smaller pond like this, I would say keep it to a clump or so.
Yeah, just that.
You might get the odd sort of sedge warbler or reed warbler passing through on migration, so it's always good for that. And it's a good bit of cover. You might find the odd snipe spending the night there, or woodcock again on passage, maybe in the autumn or the spring. But yes, just a case of managing that.
I did take up some from that, but there's a moorhen nest in there.
Oh, wonderful. That's
So-
nested in there this year, has it?
I think we hadn't seen them in the garden, but it left a nest from last year. I didn't touch it, but
Yeah.
I did take some out, and actually it's sitting on top of the line of the root.
Okay, yes.
Do you know what I mean? It
Yes,
looks
yeah.
like something you'd put in a stir fry.
That's right.
Do you know what I mean? It looks really tasty and snap, doesn't it?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. White, yeah.
That's it. And so here we've got the majority of the coverage is the wonderful plant that is bog bean, which is this one here, which is a plant that I plant a lot of. For those of you that have been watching the channel for a while, I've just seen a water boatman milling around down there. We've got some marsh marigold here, which is great. Obviously a spring flower. It's gone over now. And that's really looking quite nice, Annie. It really is. It's so lovely. The clarity is fabulous.
That
Got a nice
we
big
had
lily.
a couple of months ago. We had our lovely builder, because I neglected to take leaves up, and I had this horrible blanket weed. But it wasn't blanket; it was bright emerald green slime
Yes.
that came up. And when
Okay.
I took it out, it looked like cocoa, which I think
right.
was its, spore or whatever. And so I thought, there's no way you can deal with this because you're just spreading it. Or
Sure.
even with a fine net, I couldn't.
Yeah.
So the guys came and we pumped the water out, and
Yeah.
they really cleaned it out. And
Sure.
So it's this new clean. That
Yes.
water lily is from the river. The
Oh, wow.
yellow.
Oh, lovely. Yes.
ball
Yeah.
thing, yeah. It just arrived. I think things come on animals' feet.
They
don't
do. Yes. Yeah. Oh, wonderful.
There's water mint too. I love.
Oh, bit of watermint.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that in there.
And ground elder, which I know.
Ground elder. I
It-
mean,
if I-
people. It's a gardener's worst nightmare in many situations, isn't it? But it's good ground cover.
Well, if
Um,
I had a urban garden, I'd probably kill it.
Yeah.
But it's fine,
Sure. Oh, those are those fresh shoots. Yeah, which they just look dead. Look at the
Look,
size.
it's gone through that.
God Almighty. Yeah. So that's going straight through that
Yeah.
fairly rotten trunk, but
And there you can see.
there are some old Japanese torture methods at something like that, aren't they?
Don't mention the wall.
Yeah.
More poking.
Yes, so that's how it spreads by these shoots that are coming off the root plate.
But Deb and I are going to thin this out.
Sure.
And the canes are very useful to use. But if anyone does it, I think the best way to do it is with secateurs to cut these off
Yeah.
before you cut the thing down. And
Yes.
be really careful because we know the bit there. It's
It is sharp.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
So we're going to probably clean out some of those.
Fantastic. Excellent.
I can't believe there were just 6 canes. obviously.
I know,
like
yeah. Yeah. I long to one day travel to see the bamboo forest in
I
Japan.
love it. Debbie and I
Now that's
built.
a compost heap, isn't it?
Now that was the old pergola.
Oh right. Oh yeah, of course. I can see the notching.
Yeah.
Yeah, where it
And
was.
Debbie, who's brilliant with DIY and stuff, she was doing it and she was measuring to drill, and she got a bit of wood and seeing a hole or something, and then the next time she did it with her finger, and I said, well, don't you need a stick? Or she said, always have finger. You can imagine. You have a
Yes.
gas. Here's a very neglected, I don't know what you call it, has the most beautiful flowers, the yellow.
Oh, is that the catalpa, the Indian
Yeah,
bean tree?
yeah.
Yes, at the back there.
Flowers are
Let's have a look at
stunning.
that image.
That is a neglected Indian bean tree.
Indian bean tree. Lovely.
Lovely, isn't it?
This trunk really does remind me of the one in my gran and
Isn't
granddad's
it?
garden. Yeah,
Oh,
it's
look,
just
there's moss on the...
wonderful, that, isn't it? And just the way that the branches are so twisted and gnarled. It's gorgeous.
Moss is a very big thing in Japan.
It is, where they have moss gardens, don't
Yeah.
they?
We went to one near Kyoto, Kokidera. It's absolutely beautiful.
Wow,
I love it.
this is fantastic. It's
So
like
that's the other horse chestnut, I think. And
the
then
horse
there's
chestnut through the back there.
The
Yeah.
one on the corner, I think, is another walnut.
Wonderful.
I think this organ needs to come and...
Well, the hazel, yeah. Yeah, that's it's grown sideways somewhat, isn't it?
Yes. Now that's a chestnut I didn't get the leaves from, so you can see what's
Oh, that
happening
one,
here.
yes. Here we get the leaf miner, which is something you may have seen around July time. Horse chestnuts get this leaf mining beetle inside the leaf, and it does turn the leaves a really yellowy brown colour. It doesn't actually affect the health of the tree, I believe, but it obviously it's
It
not
won't
too much
kill
of
it,
a
but it's not
yeah,
a good thing to do
not
year
too
after
much
year,
of
is
a-
it?
pleasant sight, but I'm sure they're food for something.
And this is another project for more noodling. We need some
More noodling needed.
serious noodling here, because what you can't see
You
is...
know, actually, I've just realised. Sorry, interruption. I remembered noodling. Do you know what it is in America?
I don't... Frank Zappa says it a lot.
Well, I don't know who Frank Zappa is. I'm
He's a
afraid.
musician.
Okay, but well, noodling in America apparently is a term. Any of you guys watching this from America, where you actually catch catfish with your hands.
Ooh.
Yes, I've heard that mentioned a few times. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm pretty sure that's what it is.
Because Frank Zappa is one of our heroes,
Sure.
and he does sometimes with guitar just going up and down and it's noodling.
Yes.
So this serious
I guess that's
noodling
where it
here,
comes from.
because there's rocks, lovely rocks
Sure.
placed.
Yes. I'll take your word for it.
Beautiful.
Well, and this big brute is burdock, isn't it?
Yes.
Which is a ginormous leaf. If I can get to any of that, I'll show you the size of the leaf of that. There's my hand for comparison. One leaf. Well, there's an even bigger one there. Look. For any of you that watched the recent tour of the Scotland video that I made, you may remember that one, Annie. I don't know if you saw the Scottish tour yet.
I
No.
will.
Oh, you're in for a 3-hour treat. You'll be asleep by the end. There was a gunnerer that we saw next to one of the ponds there, and my goodness, the leaves were a good metre across. Just fantastic.
In Japan, this is known as gobo, and the root is eaten. They chop it up and it's pickled and fried.
Oh right,
And
wow.
also, no, that's some kind. But it's a very slender root, like a parsnip. No, not parsnip, like carrot. It's
Okay.
Very, yeah, and so very thin. So ladies with really skinny legs have got gobo ashi.
Oh.
So, and if you've got fat ones, you've got daikon ashi, which isn't nice. But yeah, I don't know if I should try. Can you still make dandelion and burdock from that? Do people still do that?
I'm not aware. I assume so that's where it came from, but
My grandma was from Darlington, and it's a northern drink, isn't it?
yes, yeah. I've just spotted another bit of wildlife as well. I think if we There's a damselfly. It looks like possibly a blue-tailed damselfly on one of the nettle stems
Oh,
on
right.
the end. This, by the way, looks to me...
Ground elder.
No,
Is it? No. Oh,
that is... Now that... I think that's hemlock water dropwork.
a very poisonous.
Not hemlock. No, not the hemlock with the red spotty stem. You're all right.
Not that one.
This one is absolutely fine. Otherwise, I would be coming up in rashes right now.
Really?
But that's I'm
Water
sure that's
dropwork.
hemlock water dropwork. I'm sure
So
it
it's
is.
part of the family, but not.
Yeah, but a lovely umbellifer, and the insects love it. But the one I was trying to show you is that one that's just lifted off, which is it's actually either a common blue or azure blue damselfly, which has just gone that side now.
We also get something. Is it called the banded agrion?
Oh, the banded demoiselle.
Demoiselle.
Yes, yeah, the beautiful sheen of those is nice.
Here's another plan. These were, of course, what do you call them? The hated thing.
Leylandii.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very ancient, and I haven't known what to do with them. And luckily, the neighbours are really sympathetic and nice because they're going all squiffy.
Sure.
So Alden, the tree surgeon, and I plan. He suggested these. So these are going to grow up to about here,
Yeah.
and then he's going to come along and take off the
Oh, I
top
see,
and
yes.
tidy them up,
Yeah.
and then hopefully, I think, put the ivy going through so that they've got.
Oh, lovely.
Do you see what I mean?
Yes.
They've got.
Bit of privacy.
Yeah.
Sure.
Because if we just took them out, they haven't got many trees the other side.
Gotcha. Yeah.
So
Be
yeah,
a bit bare,
go
wouldn't it?
up to here and then. So that's probably for next winter, I think, if he comes.
Wonderful. Another project. Just looking in your lawn. No, it's not. No, I thought it was a bit of cuckoo flower, but no, it's not.
And when Callum and I were digging the pond, David said, come on, we've got to go to the river because there's this small tree on the side of the bank. It's been.
Yes.
So Callum and I had to stop what we were doing. And we went, and that's a few years ago.
And now you have this magnificent alder.
Mm.
Alder's obviously one of my favourites. You can plant them in wet and dry.
But it also did get some spotty thing on its leaves, but that seemed to go.
Yes.
What was it? It looked.
No idea, but they're remarkably resilient.
It
so
threw it off. Yes,
yeah.
like, yeah.
Fantastic trees.
Yeah, and I think Alden needs to do some.
Yeah, and you can actually see this is last year's fruit. Or is that this year's? No, it's last year's fruit. It's all dried out.
Yeah, these
Cracking
leaves
fun.
look really healthy now. So last year they again had this spotty kind of.
Yes, yeah.
That's all right.
Well, and then we got the other vista of
Another
this beautiful
more
pond.
noodling needs to happen here.
Noodling. I really am going to use that more now.
That a couple of years ago we had that what's that plant called?
The parrot flower.
Parrot.
Is it parrot flower? So yeah, the monkey flower.
Yeah.
Yes, that's it.
Anyway, it was big.
I was thinking of parrot's feather, which is a bit of a problem within a pond. Funnily enough, one I've got to go and clear out. But yes, monkey flower. Yeah.
It was
It's
big.
here.
It's like a snapdragon, isn't it? Yeah.
Yes.
It grew up quite big,
Yeah.
and Deb and I walked past and thought, what? And we could see this eye, and it was a mallard
Oh really?
and a nest in it.
So a mallard in the.
And
Wow.
then it was kind of, oh, what do we do now? We don't want to scare it off. And Julie, who should have been here today but didn't come,
Yes. I've replaced Julie.
she said it's 28
Tony.
days. It'll be
Yeah, of
sitting
course.
there. Anyway, David took a photograph. You can just see its eye, and we called it the ninja duck.
Excellent.
So now when he does photographs and gives them to people, he's
Yes.
got a ninja duck copyright thing. You know.
Fantastic. And I've just spotted actually the moorhen nest just in the middle
Really,
of that
you can see it.
the reed
Wow.
mace. Yeah, just in the middle of there.
Oh, that's nice. And the ones we had the year before, we saw 5 or 6 eggs in it,
Yeah.
and thought, oh, what's happened? But then the neighbour said it's seen them, the mum taking them up to the river, because
Oh,
you
right.
can get up to the river easily through
Oh, fantastic.
there. Yeah.
Do we get a sneak of the river on this tour?
Yes.
Excellent. Stay tuned, folks.
Walnut,
Oh, very nice. Yeah,
but
lovely walnut tree. That
it's nearly
very old.
falling over. Yeah, there was power cables going through to next door, but David had them put underground.
Yes.
Because it was arcing one time onto the.
Oh, crikey.
You know,
Yes. Not ideal.
and they called it a dangerous climbing tree.
Yes. Quite.
So we just if it falls down, that'll be fine. We'll
Sure.
leave it, because it's
Yeah.
absolutely fine. Lots of walnuts we get.
Yeah.
Oh, look out! It all gets
Oh, you've not been doing enough noodling here,
I
Annie.
know. There is distinct lack of noodling in this part of the garden.
However,
You see, I've got all that in there to come out.
yes. I was just going to mention the people know this as sticky weed, but it's also a larval food plant for the hummingbird hawk moth.
Really?
Yes,
Wow.
secondary one. They'll normally use hedgebed straw, but they will of course use that. If you're familiar with hedgebed straw, it is obviously very similar. If you look at the leaf on the hedgebed straw is it's a little bit smaller than that. Similar white flower close to the stem, but yeah, it's a lovely plant. But of course, that goes rampaging through your borders, and it's not ideal in a formal
But
setting.
it is an easy weeder, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
Just, yeah.
Oh wow, one of my favourites,
Yes.
a ginkgo.
Except that it's, yeah. In Japan, ginkgo is a bank. You know, the place that
bank.
gives you money.
Oh right, yes, fantastic.
But so the Japanese word for this is icho.
Icho.
And
Okay.
ginkgo nuts, which isn't like a nut, is a really lovely,
Really?
delicious thing to eat. Yeah,
Oh, never tried it.
yellow. But you need a male and a female. I don't. Can you
Ah,
tell
okay.
which it is?
I can't. No,
No.
not from first sight. I'm not sure.
But we thought I wanted it because ginkgo is bank and this is bank.
Yes. Well, it's lovely, and I actually looked at one of these in one of the last tours I did of a garden in Hertfordshire, and was saying about how these are the oldest tree in the world. 180 million years, I think. They've been around, so really nice to see. Thank you for planting one.
Yeah. And this, when Callum and I were doing the pond, we stupidly planted a willow right on the edge of the pond. Didn't that look nice?
Yeah.
But it didn't work, so we moved it to here,
Yeah.
and then it grew and grew and grew, and I thought,
Oh wow,
so Alden came and chopped it and made it into a seat. And
fantastic.
can you see it going around? Alden wove it,
Yes.
but he needs to come again and sort it out.
Oh, lovely.
See that?
Mm.
Are going to clear, and we were going to black liner it and wood chip, but we've got tons of slabs that were taken off from up near the house, you know, the gravelly bit. I asked the builders and they brought them all down here, so I
Okay.
thought what I might do is put slabs and spaces,
Yes. Yeah.
so
So you got a little seating area. You can
Yeah.
come down and enjoy it. Yeah.
yeah, so slab and big space to plant things in.
Excellent.
Yeah, because the chip's fine, but it degrades quickly.
It
and
soon
even
degrades, yeah.
bark, it doesn't last that long, does it?
No, it's right. Within 2 or 3 years, it's
You need
soon
it, yeah.
disintegrating, and there's such a lovely feel to this part of the garden, isn't there?
This, someone told us, is a prehistoric tree. What did they call it?
Is that a swamp cypress?
Yes.
Thought so. It's a lovely looking tree, isn't it?
And it's very, I don't do anything to it.
And of course they're deciduous, aren't they? They look like a spruce, so
Oh,
you'd
yeah,
think it
all
was
of
evergreen.
The tree surgeon thought it was dead.
Yeah. No, that's a beautiful tree. Wow.
And this is a redwood.
How beautiful was that? Let's see if I can see the trunk going for a closer look. Oh yeah.
You can, when you punch it, it's not
Soft,
hard, it's
isn't
soft,
it? Yeah, you can have a fight with that all day long.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
So for those of you watching from the States, we have redwoods in the UK. What a lovely tree. And it is actually very soft barked, if you didn't know.
It's lovely. It's really nice to touch.
They can withstand fire as well, can't they? That's why they're,
Really?
yeah, they can survive a lot of the fires that they have in the States. They're fantastic.
And in there's a thingy.
Oh yeah, I know.
3 thingies.
That's the Latin name, isn't it?
Yes. I could tell you some Japanese lies, couldn't I?
You could. Looks like there's a dogwood actually in the middle of
Yes,
it. Which
it is.
Yeah, well, a variegated dogwood as well on this end.
This is David's favourite tree.
Wow, yeah. Robinia. It's very nice, isn't it?
Alden's had to fiddle and diddle with that though too. And the border did have a lot of willows,
Yeah.
but they fell into the road and they were
Okay.
interfering. So
Yeah.
that's where I'm thinking of putting the goat willows.
Yes.
I think they'll be more bushy.
Of course, yeah.
You know.
Provide a bit more privacy and
Yeah.
a bit easier to maintain.
Yeah. There were 6 beaches down here,
Really?
and there was a path that I think the previous original owner wheeled his grandma down. You know,
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it was just black asphalt, you know,
Okay, yeah.
and the 6 beaches, but we lost them in the
Well, that's a
in the
shame.
Great Flood.
Yes.
It's a nice shrub I didn't plant. These are the really, really old roses that were here when we moved in.
Yes.
But Debbie and I made these last year, you can see. But I think the monkjack and maybe badgers have come and scraped everything
Yeah.
and da-da-da. So we're thinking what to do about this.
Okay,
Whether
yeah.
to put chip or I don't know.
Yeah, it wants to be something organic, doesn't it? Rather than paved or
I
anything like
don't
that
want
through
that,
here.
you know,
Yeah.
those stones purpley and
Yes.
people have decorated.
the slate sort of thing. Yeah.
Actually, does it smell?
That's a Philadelphus, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's got a bit of a scent to it. Yeah,
Can you
nice.
guess what that one's called?
Snowflake. No idea.
I think it's called virginal.
Okay. Excellent.
This is one of my favourites as well. I adore
Yes, this is the pulmonaria.
Yeah.
Lungwort. Very, very good for bees, isn't it?
Pink, or
Pink,
purple,
blue,
yeah.
purple, magical flower that
Yeah.
is. Great for shade, guys. If you haven't got any, get some in your garden.
Really. Only thing is, it doesn't like being moved.
Oh, does it not? I've never
Well,
dug it up.
it might
so
be me, but I've tried and it flops and goes away.
yes.
But it moves it all.
But here you go. Look, I mean, we're right, literally under trees. This will get no sun virtually. So yes, that's a really nice one as a ground cover for shade. A little bit of ground ivy poking through as well. That's another
The
good one.
use of ivy in this garden, I didn't do this, but it's brilliant, you know, because if
Yeah.
you don't like it, you can wake
That's
it up.
it.
But if you know, it's fine.
Yes. Oh, wonderful.
There's some,
There's a Prunus nigra, the red-leafed
yeah.
cherry, which actually has some cherries on it.
Yes. Debbie said to me the other day, can you eat these, Annie? Are they poisonous? I said, I don't know, but really bitter.
Really bitter, aren't they? Yes, yeah.
So we picked some and we're going to plant them.
Very good. Moles.
Do you want to go the other way or this way?
Well, if we haven't seen that way, shall we go that way? I'll let you lead the way. Which path are we taking, Annie? The barked one or the grass one? The barked one, shall
You go first.
we? Oh no, please. You know the way, I might get lost.
And there were wild roses down here. And
Oh, I was a green woodpecker. I thought I'd heard a cuckoo to begin with. Is there? Oh, apparently we have a cuckoo. Just a single call. Very nice.
This is the thing you said. What do you call it?
A dogwood.
Dogwood.
Oh wow, yeah. So it is. That's your dogwood tree, which is finished flowering now. It's turning to berries. And it's
up these runners, does it? Oh,
yes.
they're not runners.
Yeah, well they're suckers. They'll grow from the roots. Yeah. So you got a bit of a mass of dogwood there, and lots of multi stems in the middle. That really is a dogwood tree, which is nice to see. Normally you see them sort of clipped in a hedge, or they don't get to sort of do what they're intended to do.
And this is viburnum.
Viburnum, yes, yeah.
Sorting out as well.
Noodling, Annie, is the word.
Yes, but this is serious noodling, you see, because I'm not trained in where to cut things.
Well, generally speaking, things like this, the dogwoods, the viburnum, off at ground level is fine. It'll grow back. They're what I would call foolhardy.
It's a scary
It is a scary concept, isn't it? Same with the Portuguese laurel. Same with
woodlias. In the wrong place?
No. Well, it's growing all right, isn't it?
Yeah.
Let's put on some fresh growth this year. You can see that's put on a good few inches this year. And that's right under the shade of this lovely copper beech.
Yeah, that was one that didn't get killed in the Great Flood. Yeah.
Yeah. A lovely tree.
Mm.
And then we're sort of coming back full circle. That's another lovely sycamore, isn't it? That's getting ripe for tree creeper habitat. That is.
Really?
Yeah, with the bark, what you tend to find is when you get these sort of nooks and crannies like that, it's not quite big enough to get a tree creeper behind, but the sycamore, although it's not native since the last 400 years-ish or 300-ish years, it does really create a good habitat for them to nest behind. So
David's seen them from his office growing up the
wonderful.
trees, haven't you?
Yeah. Yeah, perfect.
I haven't seen a nuthatch, but we've seen tree creeper birds.
Oh, brilliant. Tree creepers.
I don't know why, but I like this thing. It just goes on and on.
Well, I mean, evergreens, they're very attractive for cold tits, gold crests. That'll certainly be what's helping to bring them into the garden. That, along with the myriad of coniferous
and this
species, Leylandii.
It's got a smell.
Mm.
Do you know what I mean?
Yes, yeah.
There's a septic tank under there which isn't used, and a thing. And I think they planted it, to cover the tank.
Yes, to cover that.
When we first moved in, David's dad said, "Oh dear, I think that septic tank needs doing." No, it's different.
It's just a different aroma.
I think after the rain or a certain temperature, you can smell it more. Yeah. Alden, the tree surgeon, said conifers, pines, and other things, they're really quite difficult to. You have to get really experienced to know the difference of them. I've got a lovely tree book, but this one has 2 and this one has 5. And
you spend your life, couldn't you,
really
identifying them?
Really, but I think it's
nice. Well, it's done its job, hasn't it? You can't. Yeah. I didn't know. I wouldn't know there was a septic tank there. Another compost heap. Good to see.
But there's 3.
Oh wow! Yeah.
See,
three individual shrubs
for the office for the farm when it was,
Ah yes, yeah.
And here is the walnut that will not die.
Oh right.
I did the horrible thing. The J's fluid in it.
Yeah, it's not gonna grow too well. Well, it'll grow well there, but the greenhouse might not last.
But it won't. Yes. Does everyone have mess like this?
Everyone has a utility area, Annie. No garden is. It's a utility area. Yes, that's the technical term.
David, this is a utility area.
There you go. Yeah, it's a new term.
Not allowed to noodle here.
No noodling needed.
No.
Right, shall we go back this way?
Do you want to go to the jungle now?
I'm dying to see this river. And your house from the front, actually. I'm sure everybody watching this would be really dying to see
They're not
that.
going to come and burgle us, are they?
I doubt it. No,
Good.
I only gave the three grid reference to the end of the road, so they'll have to guess from there. Nice that the sun stayed out, because it really was torrential earlier, wasn't it?
It was.
And the wind's dropped a little bit, but I'm sure it'll pick back up again when we get to the riverbank. And I believe this is your veranda where you sit every evening when it's pleasant.
Yes, that's called the drinking deck.
Excellent. Can I come?
Yes. I told him
Excellent.
that this is Sensei and I'm his Veshi, and he's got Sensei as well, which is good to hear, isn't it?
These must be the
Yes.
home oaks.
They were all my Jack by the hedge.
Garlic mustard.
Yeah.
Very good. Can I find a caterpillar? Have I got time to find a caterpillar? Come on, there's got to be one. This is where everybody watching falls asleep. You should be getting on a bit now. Ah, there we go.
Oh, you've got one. Wow.
Look at that.
Oh, yes.
That, everybody, is the caterpillar of my favourite butterfly, which is the orange tip. And it's exactly how Annie's husband David enticed me to come and see her. Because he sent me a photo of an orange tip. I'm that easily won over.
And I remember in your video saying that it's brilliant, isn't it? It's completely camouflaged.
Yeah, very well camouflaged.
Maybe there's more. So
There
I'll
might be
leave
some more.
these. Don't.
Excellent. Yeah, I'm not gonna walk any further in there. I do like this on your drive, Annie, I must admit. You know what this is?
No.
This is a plant called Black Medic.
Black Medic.
Yeah. Don't ask me anything else about it, but that's what it is. It is a larval food plant, secondary larval food plant for the common blue butterfly.
Oh.
And you get it a lot in lawns. Lovely little plant.
And you say food, what does it eat?
The caterpillar.
Yeah.
It will eat the flowers and then it'll develop in seed pods.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So you can see why it's secondary, because its normal food plant is the bird's foot trefoil,
Right.
which of course has a much bigger flower.
They're
So
lovely, those.
they are.
They're around the back of your car.
Round the back.
Here's some I grew earlier.
Oh yeah. Love that. There you go. I've actually seen common blue lay on this, so yeah, keep your eye out for a blue butterfly around about July, August time. You might get some visiting and laying on that.
And this year, I just love this common
Oh, the
mallow.
common mallow,
But
yeah.
this year, honestly, I can't believe the height. Usually it's
Yeah.
about up to your knee.
Yes.
But
Well, it's been a bit damp this year, hasn't
oh,
it?
is that what's on it?
Yeah.
Except, maybe because of the damp as well, it's got this horrible...
Okay, like a rust.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Would that be the damp as well?
Possibly. I don't know what causes that, but you can see the flower of the mallow. It's very attractive to bees, isn't it?
Yeah.
The bees love it because the flower is a nice big open flower like a hollyhock.
But
Yeah, it's nice for them to get into.
I can't believe.
Yeah, that's not a small plant, is it? I mean, this is, you know, sort of 5 feet
Yeah.
of growth. That's lovely.
I've got her by the door. I got a marshmallow
Oh, brilliant.
from the herb.
Yes,
Which
yeah.
is lovely. You want to see some wild?
You mean you've not shown me wild already?
It's Philip.
That's Philip, yeah, he's ready for his dinner. And he has a local pheasant that she's tamed, don't you?
Well, he's tamed me.
Well, yeah. It's nice to see, though, this. It's nice to see areas of scrubby habitat, which is great for nesting birds, of course. Good cover for a lot of wildlife.
Can I have that in writing?
Yes, you can. Anybody watching this will understand how much I go on about scrubby habitat. Here's some more burdock. Burdock, for those of you that also know it as the one with the sticky seed balls that you can throw at each other and stick to each other's fleeces. Oh, some rustling over there. I think that was a muntjac. Oh, and got a small white, and there's a banded demoiselle. Demoiselle.
Because this is a path.
Ah, right. So the thistles have taken over your path, have they?
Yes.
Thanks,
Oh,
David.
David, aren't you going to stomp?
Do you want me to go first, Annie?
Yeah, because what I want you to see is quite interesting.
Or a banded agri.
Yeah, they're in here. We've just seen a couple. So
You're on path wherever you, if you just go straight.
yep. This is not a normal episode of Wild Your Garden. I don't normally go trampling down nettles and thistles.
But you've been invited.
Oh, hang on! Look at that.
Oh my goodness.
I can trample no more, Annie.
Oh,
Look at that. That was
it's gone off.
a female banded demoiselle. That's why, and it's just been attacked by a male who is now trying to copulate with it. 1 second. So the male banded demoiselle there has grabbed the female by the back of the head with his claspers, as you do. Look at those wings. Now, will she be receptive? Yes, she is. Well, there's something you don't see every day. Live copulation of a banded demoiselle. Doesn't get much better than that, does it? Can you see, Annie?
No,
Are you trying not to laugh?
no. I think it's lovely that you found something that you like.
Well, how can you not like that? The colour, did you see the female before she flew?
Yeah,
Almost emerald green.
yeah.
And actually, there's now a sea of either common blue or azure damselflies around them. So that's one thing I do find about the insect world is there's always three. There's always a bystander or someone watching.
Oh, really?
Yeah, especially with soldier beetles.
Wow.
I'm full of useless information.
No, that's not useless. That's interesting. Always three.
So after a bit more trampling, well, I'm guessing this is your little secluded seating area.
Well,
What the flipping heck's that?
that's
Is that a
mulberry.
mulberry? It is, isn't it? Yes, the size of those leaves.
And David's father
Oh, we can see them developing. Sorry.
gave it to me when we moved in. So this is 24 years old.
Wow. A lovely mulberry tree. Look at that.
And Alden propped it up.
Yes.
And
Well, the Japanese are big fans of supporting trees, aren't they? In fact, they do far more for working alongside trees than we do in terms of cutting them down.
yeah.
That's for sure.
But also, Japanese handmade paper. It's called the washi.
Mhm.
And I made it. You make this gloop, and then you put a kind of net in. A sieve.
Okay, yeah.
But it's the gloop is mulberry leaves and
Oh, wow.
hollyhock leaves as well.
fantastic.
Mixture of it, yeah.
Well, there you go.
And my favourite.
Yes,
And this is the
the
walnut
archangel,
that won't die as
the
well.
one that got away.
Oh, but this is the first year I've seen walnut.
Yes, we've got. If I can pull that down, we have got a couple of walnuts developing
It's not
there.
in the right place. I don't mean right from my point of view, but you know,
Yes,
it's and this
the pear tree there.
which does need a lot of work. It
A
was
little bit of noodling.
This is mega noodling job. Mega noodling. It was supposed to be a pond, brick pond, so one
Oh,
there
right.
and one there,
Wow,
with a thing so that the water would go like that.
just circulate.
But it never did. So we thought about it, and Debbie and I decided. A few years ago, there were giant willows up by the gate, and we had them
Yeah.
cut down, and they were like huge.
Wow.
So I noticed lots of bees going in them.
Yes.
So what I did is I Debbie and I carted tons of them and put them in here.
Oh, right.
And we called it the buggery. Which is overgrown, but you can't see them now, but I need to redo it. But there's lots of old bark in there.
Yeah, brilliant.
I had these huge trunks, in
Okay,
there,
yeah.
and then spaces for pot plant
Yes.
things, except I had a beautiful camellia,
Mm.
and something used to nest up here.
Oh, right.
And cover and you really had to work hard to wash it off the leaves.
Yes,
to nest. So I really have to think carefully what I would put in there, if anything. And also it's very shaded, so...
It is completely shaded, isn't it? You've got an ash tree there, an ornamental pear at the back,
Yeah.
and then a cherry.
Cherry.
A wild cherry, which has got some wild cherries on it.
And the pigeons,
Look at those.
if we don't...
Yeah. Look at that. I wish it was a few weeks later. It'd been my afternoon snack.
And we had an enormous silver pine tree, I don't know what they call, really huge silver thing there.
Oh, like a blue atlas cedar. Yeah.
And Alden cut it down.
I would say the timber looks familiar.
Yeah.
Oh, fantastic.
But the buggery's lovely when it's, when it's just, well, I think it's lovely, it's just brown
Yes.
things, but the moss has grown on the top of it because it's got
Yeah.
sleepers on, so it looks really lovely.
Well, piles of deadwood, obviously very good for a lot of wildlife.
The thing is, friends have come, I said, oh, come, you must come and see my buggery. I go, "Oh." And then you can tell whether, if you come across this, you can tell whether English people like something or not. If they don't like it, they'll go, interesting.
Yeah, that's right. Interesting is the choice word to say. Yeah.
And the other one is different.
Yeah, it's different.
And you can tell that they really don't like it and don't want to say it so polite.
Yes.
So there's another dead hedge through there.
Oh, brilliant. Yeah, I can just see the end of one of the trunks.
Yeah,
poking up
because
there.
we had Alden does the
Cuts the laurel. Back. Yeah.
but there was laurel growing there that died and died and died, and we finally figured it out because these leylandia are soaking.
Oh, right,
yeah.
yes. It's
So
obviously it's always very dry under a leylandii hedge, isn't it?
So that was the first one we made, which was nice.
Sure.
I'm in love with them now. I'd have them every
Oh, they're
day.
great.
Yeah.
You can never have too many piles of deadwood, too many dead hedges.
We were going to walk around the edge, but we can't.
Yeah, that would be a bit more trampling, wouldn't it? Well, I'm pleased we got that. That's the first time. Well, I've got two firsts today, Annie. I've got my first orange tip caterpillar of the year. So I've not seen one yet. And the first time I've ever seen a pair go in or enter copulation of a banded demoiselle, which is lovely.
This was here when we moved. I love it. It's a beautiful.
Oh, the maple, yeah.
Yeah.
It's a lovely colour, isn't it?
Oh, has that got keys on it?
It has, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Some keys developing, the seeds. Many of you watching will no doubt associate these with the little helicopters that you used to make as kids. Pull them off the trees and throw them up in the air and they spin round like a helicopter.
And it's seeded, and so I had.
Oh, I see, there's another one.
Yeah,
there.
I had it in a pot for about 3 years, and I
Yeah.
thought I'll put it here because I thought it would be nice
Yes, that's nice.
in that space.
Yeah, I can see some fresh growth on it. Oh, and then we've got a red admiral bombing around.
And there's a path that goes around there to the shed, and there's another one that goes around there.
I'll take your word for it.
That is enormous, isn't it?
The burdock, yes, they are a big leaf.
There's vinca under there too.
Oh yes, yeah, the lesser periwinkle. Now this is a rather pleasant avenue of home oaks, Annie. I'm guessing you didn't plant these. I would say these are a bit older than 24 years.
Yeah, and squirrels put dead grays in them.
Lovely. Such a beautiful light through them, isn't it?
Mm.
Elder again doing very well in the dappled shade. So are we now? Please tell me we're heading to that lovely river.
Yes.
It's not that I haven't enjoyed everything so far, but I think that might just...
That's Philip's.
Philip calling again. Holly, there you go.
Yep.
Another good example of holly doing very well in shade. A single berry on that one.
And the bird box
2.
had a blue tit in it.
Oh, lovely. Well, this year? Oh, fantastic. Ah, yeah, so we think there's a sparrowhawk, a pair of sparrowhawks that have nested in the garden as well. My guess would be probably somewhere in the pines if they were.
Yeah.
It looked like a pigeon, but then pigeons look like everything, David. And that is my next book, the title of. Yeah. So this is all, or I could imagine this was an absolute picture in spring, in April into May, with this all being cow parsley. Just a sea of white, that would have been.
Oh yes, my autobiography was going to be called, you know the way pigeons fly?
Yes, yeah.
It's going to be called Flapping and Gliding.
Very good.
Because I do 2 hours of work and then I sit and drink.
What time does that start? Have we missed it for today?
Chestnut, but Alden and I are thinking about it. I don't know if
Oh,
it's,
sweet chestnut. Sorry,
Yeah.
yes, it is, yeah. There.
because the chestnuts are tiny
Right, yeah.
and I don't
It
know.
might be the light, because it's not very, it's not getting a lot of light there, is it, with the home oaks this side of it? And the leaves aren't enormous. Usually they're a bit bigger than that, but
And it's looking a bit threadbare, yeah.
yeah. But it might, once it gets up and above the height of the home oaks, but then the home oaks are going to keep growing as well, so it might have a few years to go yet. I love the bark of a home oak. It reminds me of like the bark of a pear tree. You know how you almost get like vertical lines in the bark of a pear tree? Very, very, very tough timber, that is. Now I hope the mics are going to be alright on the bank when we become a little bit more exposed to the wind. As long as you put it in your mouth to speak, we're all well, even if people don't hear us very well, they'll be able to see the beautiful scenery.
I've got to, that's the end.
Yes.
And this is giant hogweed. And tell me it isn't.
That's just normal hogweed.
Oh really?
Yep. Yeah, you're all right.
So what
Shall we rub a bit on my legs? Just to prove it.
What I was worried is, if kids come and walk and
Sure. No,
because there's
that's
been lots of stories recently about people horrible
yeah,
burns
giant
from it.
hogweed. You'd know that goes to
So-
about 10 foot. This is normal hogweed.
So that
yes.
won't hurt anybody.
That'll be fine. It's still a bit irritant if you get, if you crush it and put it on your skin. It might, rash a little bit, but you'd have to sort of, rub against it, and you'd have to be strimming it, and get bits chucked all over you. And
Because Deb and I usually take it out. There was a lot one year along the bank, which is, so we took it out, and that worked because there was no seed,
yes,
But-
yeah. Yeah, I find with hogweed and cow parsley, it's almost like it just transitions. It goes from, you see the verges full of cow parsley one day, which is, this has now gone to seed. And then they carry on being white, but then you realise it gets to a point in the year where you look and you think, oh, hang on a minute, that was cow parsley last week, now it's hogweed this week.
But I don't know what you think, but I'm maybe imagining it, but I think the elder has been too early this year.
It seems early to me,
I
yeah.
usually make elderflower cordial, and it's not, they're all gone. And it's usually late June, I don't know.
Yeah.
There's a couple of other things that are really, and I think, wow.
Yes,
Very
I
early.
noticed that with the foxgloves as well this year. But look at this sea of spear thistles. That's going to be a butterfly magnet.
This is beautiful. Can't get you. It looks
the
like an
rose.
old briar rose. It's got those tiny little.
Tiny thorns, yeah. Yeah, sorry for any wind noise, guys. We're, as you can see, a little bit exposed here now, but what a beautiful setting this is. So this is the River Little Ouse, And that surely isn't your boat, Annie.
Yes.
I think I might have to come back here for a ride in that at some point. What about this for a setting? So there we've got the house, which has some lovely views across. Got Ely over there, which I'll put a bit of a clip in. See Ely Cathedral. So that little speck in the distance is Ely Cathedral. So yeah, a little bit windy today, but hopefully you can still enjoy these views, which are quite stunning. I wouldn't mind having that just outside my bedroom window. That's not a lake over there. It does look like that at first. It's actually some sort of woven matting to protect what we think are lettuces. But you can see that fenland landscape, it really is very flat. Something that I grew up with.
These poplars, can you see the riverbank?
Yeah.
All these had to be cut down because they were interfering with this cable.
Oh right,
Can
so
you see?
these poplars, yeah, they
so
were.
we had the
Oh, I
same
see.
height all the way
So you
along.
had poplars all the way along here. They had to get removed because of the.
But David
power
got
line.
them to leave that one, which was just a stump,
Yeah.
because lots of hawks would perch on it.
Oh, brilliant.
But even that's gone into
Yeah.
it.
So even the poplar that was.
But you
looking
can
to be dead.
imagine the difference. We'd look out at the kitchen window and
Yeah.
see the poplars, which is beautiful, but now we've got this view
Now you've got
And-
the view and the sunlight.
and we haven't got the poplar leaves in the gutters, because if the wind was in the wrong direction,
Sure.
it's really high up.
Yes. Yeah.
So it took a bit of getting used to, because
Yeah. What's the name of the boat, Annie?
it's named after our cat. We had a cat called a nobby.
Nobby.
Nobby is the Japanese verb for stretch.
Oh, fantastic. I like that.
N-O-B-I.
So Nobby is the name of the boat after the cat that used to stretch a lot, as most cats do.
She
It's
was
a nice view from your upstairs windows.
half Siamese and half mutt.
Okay, yeah. All the best ones are.
Yeah.
Mum had a Siamese cat, my mum, and it lived to about 17.
Wow. Yeah, ours was 15, 16, 19.
19, wow.
We had her in Japan, we didn't bring her home because we talked to friends and they said she wouldn't, it's too much to make the journey and
Yeah,
everything. So she went and stayed with a Japanese friend, and she lived another year, and he had a Buddhist friend who had a temple and what do you call it, graveyard. Yeah, correct. And so he had one area which was for pets.
oh
It's a
lovely.
beautiful stone
Yeah,
with inscribed as she's.
fantastic.
And now, having had our cat, he now has 9.
Oh wow.
He's got a huge old farmhouse, which
Yes.
is fine. This is the edge of the.
So this is the edge. That's the garden inside there.
This is beautiful in the gorse when it blossoms.
Yes.
Just absolutely.
What a wonderful setting.
And that, what's that? This red one, is that a
That's a purple hazel.
purple hazel?
Yeah, normally hazels have the traditional green leaf, but you can get that nice purple leaf variety.
Has it gone green in there?
It
Does
looks like it's
sometimes
reverting
change,
in the middle,
yeah.
yes, yeah. A bit like the roses, you know, sometimes they send off. We've got a couple of lovely roses at ours, but the shoots often revert to the sort of wild form, wild dog rose.
I think there's a cherry in there, but also
There is a cherry?
I planted
Cherry and a hawthorn, yeah.
When we first came in, I
It's a
planted
walnut.
some hawthorns, but the trouble is the water mains go
I
along,
see.
and I didn't want to do anything to,
Sure.
yeah, that's walnut.
horse chestnut.
Yeah. What's those new? Why are they?
The new leaf, that's probably just like a bit of a second flush. Sometimes they do it, oaks do it. If you get to sort of July time and you look at an oak tree, quite often you'll see like they have then like a bit of a sort of a reddish new growth to them, which is kind of like the second flush of the year, if you like, after they've flowered and had the spring growth. And you can see the horse chestnuts already forming on that.
Yeah. And the leaves look to be all right, do you think?
Yeah, yeah. One or two have got
see a bit, yeah.
the spots, but yeah.
And that's another one, yeah. And more hazel, that's down near the bamboo.
The hazel, yeah. So that was the pond is just over there. How wonderful.
I'd just like to thank you for coming today. It's been really fantastic. I mean, you're telling me what's in the garden and different things and insects, and I've really, really enjoyed it. It's been
Wonderful. Me too.
I've been seen you on YouTube. I think, oh, that's the person I need to talk to, and here he is.
Here I am, yeah.
to talk to.
I'm sorry to have startled you so much this morning.
Well, husband surprise.
Blame David.
Yes,
yeah.
we'll do, but no, it's been lovely.
Good.
And, yeah. And what, apart from all the plants that I love, it's just like you, the big sky. It's just, yeah.
This part of the world is very, I mean, for those that haven't visited the Fens, it's a very unique landscape.
I think you'll either love it or not.
Yeah.
You know, I can imagine that people just think, oh, no, but I just, yeah.
And when you think we've, you know, just in the couple of hours we've been walking around, we've seen a hobby, we've had a cuckoo calling from the bottom of the garden, we've had buzzards, there's been kestrels, it's just, there's so much life.
Hare.
The hare, yes, which was just down there.
Yep.
The banded demoiselles, which of course will be coming in off the river now that they've emerged, and it's just a wonderful place, and I'm very grateful for you, I suppose, showing an interest, because it's not for you. I think what I find interesting is that it's a kind of, you've arrived to this party a bit later on in life, haven't you, in a way?
Yeah, definitely.
It's perhaps not a normal way of gardening that you would have thought about gardening perhaps 20, 30, 40 years ago,
and
as with most people.
And I say, moving into what was an established garden, it's then what do you do with it?
Yes,
you know,
yeah.
And finding out things. But no, it's been fun. It's been a slice.
Yeah, and don't do too much noodling.
Well, no,
A little bit.
I think probably as I get older, I have to cut down on the noodling. Yeah,
Yes.
just doing the noodle. Not leave out
Not
the ing.
bit. Excellent. No, I've thoroughly enjoyed it, and thank you.
Good.
Thank you.
No, it's been nice.
I'm sorry to have startled you, like I say this morning. It was. It's not what I usually do with the channel. I don't usually just crop up on people and say, "Hey, you know, I've heard you watch the videos," you know. But it's really nice. It's refreshing for me. Firstly, because I get to visit one of my favourite counties in the entire world, which is Norfolk, and secondly, like I say, to meet somebody who has a renewed enthusiasm, because you clearly have that because of everything you've been explaining to me today, the things you've noticed since whether it's been picking up the book or just in general watching a few videos, not just mine, but you know, there's a lot of people that are now leaning towards this way of gardening, and I think it's wonderful, and it just goes to show that it's worth the effort and the time that I put into making these, because it's appealing to more people all the while.
Definitely. And as you say, and thing I'm learning is, well, I always have done, I think, looking and noticing things, and finding things that arrive, suddenly grow, and that teaches me that this thing wants to be there.
Yes.
So encourage it, you know, to be there.
Of course,
and
yeah.
I don't think I have any huge likes and dislikes, but I just like things to look healthy. You know, if something is really looking healthy, you think, well,
Sure.
that's fine. Yeah.
Yeah. And the key is in the plants, like you say, that are in that space at that time, like things like the ivy in the woodland, if it is the ivy, or the black medic on the drive, that gravelly, sparse, baked area. I mean, I don't think I've ever seen black medic that's 10 inches high. So it's working. A lot of it is working with what's already there and just tweaking it. I think a lot of people, the problem they make is, or the problem they have is to try too hard to change something, you know, and it's trying to work with what.
And maybe it's not like fashion the clothes that you wear is your style that shows your personality. But I think there's so much on the television and everything, expert gardeners, and I think sometimes, and fashion, the fashion in things. I mean, a while ago, dahlias were, oh, they're not fashionable, they're not. And you just think, well, if you like it, why not?
That's right,
And I think very often people get sucked in and don't do what they want to do until they find out what it is they want, you know.
Yeah. No, well,
No, looking and watching things really, and the year.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, sit and watch. This has always been what I try and get people to do, including myself. Just to sit, take 5 minutes out and just watch something, because you learn a lot. I mean, look at the flies that we saw earlier on the yellow flower. I can't remember its name now. Anyway, you know the one on the edge of the bed over there, and they were all over it. But we wouldn't have noticed if we'd have just been walking past. It's just stopping and looking. So
there's so much,
yeah,
to really notice things. Yeah,
it's there on your doorstep. You don't need to watch the plains of Africa, do you, to see wildlife on a TV these days? It's more interesting on your doorstep.
The tiny things, and the slugs.
Yes,
love the slugs.
We do love a good slug.
Yes.
Well, thank you, Annie. I
You're
really
welcome.
appreciate coming to your beautiful garden, and I'm only slightly envious of the situation. It's wonderful. One day we might even be neighbours.
When are you coming with a digger to dig up and make a wild garden?
Well, I feel a little bit inclined to now, and a little bit like I ought to, probably.
We're having new gates put on.
Okay, well, wait till I've been in with a digger first before the gates go on. I'm not saying my digger driving skills aren't up to scratch, but just in case. Yeah. Anyway, thank you ever so much for watching, everybody. Thank you, Annie, for
You're welcome.
the wonderful tour. If you've enjoyed the video, please drop a comment below. Let Annie know just how wonderful and entertaining she's been. And yes, I really hope to come back and film some more of Annie's garden as it develops, because it's always, that's the thing about a garden, isn't it? It's an ever evolving, changing thing, and they need maintaining in a way. So thank you so much for watching. If you've enjoyed the video, then hit that like button, and do feel free to subscribe to the channel. And I'm sure I'll be back to see Annie and David, fingers crossed, in due course. Any last words? Any words of wisdom?
Arigatou gozaimashita, sensei.
Thank you very much. Thank you to all of you sincerely, and we will see you all very soon.